I have a question for you. On the subject of chess, what does the term ghost mean? Take a look at the position on the board in front of you. Is white in any real danger? Well, black is threatening checkmate on g2. Welcome to your favorite Chess Assassin channel. The channel that is instructive and also entertaining. In chess, you're going to face a lot of threats. You're going to run into a lot of central tension. In this position, black is threatening a discovery followed by checkmate. But queen to e6 check is the key. Placing the queen on e6 not only checks the king, but also puts the queen on the pawn. And now white can play bishop captures f5. Thus, white is about to turn the tables. Three possibilities are either rook captures f5, queen captures f5, or queen g5. Now that was the move that was played in the game. However, what happens if rook captures bishop on f5? Well, that loses to queen captures rook on c8 check and will be followed by checkmate. Now let's take a look at queen g5, the game move. Queen g5, white has either pawn to f4 or pawn to h4. Pawn to h4, queen captures h4, king captures g2. White wins a piece. However, let's take a look at pawn from f2 to f4, followed by queen takes f5, and after the queen trade, again, white gains the bishop on g2. As for this game, we get to see two contrasting plans. Black wants to attack on the king's side and white will attack from the queen's side. We have a Queen's Indian defense. One typical plan for black in this setup is to play c5. And now with the center blockaded, play transfers to the wings. Knight to h5. Black's plan is to bring the queen to h3, with the idea such as following up with knight g4, which would pressure the h2 pawn. And now queen to h3 with the idea of playing the bishop to g4 to get white to trade, after which the knight will recapture and h2 will be under fire. But black has a different idea. What is the idea behind the knight sacrifice? And what happens if white accepts the gift? Because the bishop is supported by the pawn on g6, the bishop also threatens not only the queen, but also the rook. The precise move here for white is rook to b3. Answer a threat with a threat. Black threatens the knight on b5, but white threatens the knight on h5, and also the rook is attacking the queen on h3. The queen cannot go to h4 because of the knight on g2. Therefore, black is forced to sacrifice a knight on g3. Now, this is another possibility that may arise in this position. In this continuation, after queen captures e4, f5, and after the recapture, queen to h4, and the queens come off the board.
Excellent play by white.
Knights love posts, especially in the center of the board or near the opponent's king. Napoleon Bonaparte was, in fact, a French military officer and statesman during the French Revolution, and a chess player, and his favorite piece was the knight. The game you see in front of you is not one of his games, but you're going to see why knights are so valuable. Black's king is stuck in the center, and with white to move, knight to d6 is checkmate. Although strategy is essential, a game is won by tactics. The strategical move by white was placing a knight on d5. With white to move, it is time to make a tactical shot to win the game. Bishop to b5 pins the queen to the king. Black has no choice but to lose the queen. Queen takes b5 is followed by knight to c7 check, which forced the king and the queen. And the queen on b5 is lost. And now I will draw your attention to
The annihilation of defense
and
the demolition of pawns.
And now I will conclude this video presentation with this last miniature game example. This is the Alekhines defense. How does white annihilate black's defense? You are about to see white unleash his pieces in a Paul Morphy-like attack against the opponent's king. Black maneuvers his knight back over to the king's side to aid in the defense of the king. Which piece better captures on g5? The knight, of course, hits both the e and f pawns on the king's side. This may be hard to see. Therefore, it is important that you continue to train and develop your tactical vision. Check. So what is the verdict? Does white get compensation? Keep in mind that positional value outweighs monetary value. Check. If the king steps to d7, checkmate is unavoidable. Bishop captures e6 check. Checkmate. So the king cannot step to d7, but must go to f8 instead. Check. And the only available move for black is king captures f7, which leads to a discovered check and a double check.
Your Honor, white has completely demolished my pawn structure.
On the king's side. And the evaluation is in his favor, having the two bishops. So, if you do practice chess puzzles or study games by other world champions or stronger players, not only do you develop your tactical vision, but you also must practice patience and meditation. Consider various possibilities. How many ways can your opponent put up resistance?